All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully, a little bit better, right? If you're like me, you're really excited last night. Future traders really, they got what they wanted. We got a nice trade last night. I was live with a member doing a one-on-one, and we took some future trades to the upside, which are really nice. And unfortunately, when traders wake up this morning, retail traders who are not trading futures probably looking at it going, what the hell just happened, right? So we're up about 30 to 40 points, and then we come all the way back to what is called the line in the sand. And right as we come into the line in the sand, not right at that very moment, but right around the line in the sand, we get the GDP numbers. And then I took a trade this morning, giving me about 11 points to the upside. Let's look at the thesis. Again, good morning, everybody. Today is the 29th, getting ready for the weekend and a close of the monthly candle. All right, and we'll talk about those here in a few minutes. We've passed the green box. We've come into the line in the sand today, which is 32.63. We'd like to see value hold above here, but overall, I was looking for the extreme fear box. You know what I'm saying? We're all thinking, hey, it would be really nice to get a bounce at some point, one that actually is truly meaningful for the bulls. A lot of people are shaking their head. A lot of people are blaming it on elections and maybe a little bit of COVID. And I'm sure all of those are a factor. But please keep in mind that it's just a catalyst that helps move price where price is going to move in the first place. All we can do is use past formations and history to kind of give us an idea where levels might work. In that case, what I have here is called the monthly edge. All right, this pink line, and this is really what I was looking for. And if you notice, we came very close here as well on the ES futures. And these are resistance to the top side, and this is support to the downside. If you want to look at it from a curve perspective, I want to be getting long, lower on the curve, and I want to be thinking about short, upper. Okay, and you got to have a plan around that. Everybody has a different plan. Everybody has a different risk tolerance. Okay, so for me on MES, the micros, when I'm looking at trading lower on the curve, I usually do a 10 to 30. Because this market is really choppy right now, I had that bracket set up for 10 to 30, but as soon as it starts going in the money, I start raising those stops. That's just how I've been trading this market, which leads me into let's look at the ES on a 4 hour, and then we're going to break it down since we're on a Thursday. We're going to break it down to a 2, a 1, and then a 30-minute. As you can see, if you've been watching every morning, you know that the 9 EMA on the 4 is kind of the go-to. If you're thinking about shorting, the 9 has been a great place to do that. That doesn't mean it's going to continue working. Once we start to go bid over this 9 and come back and test that and make higher highs off this, I'm looking for price to come up into this oval area here. All right, that oval area is at or around 33.57. 33.57. So again, bulls on a 4 hour need to reclaim the 9, hold that 9, and push up towards this oval area around 33.57. Now, the 4 hours, it's not too far away. It'd be giving us a 32.98 target as of right now. All right, so that is possible. And I'll be showing as we open up, I use what's called the PMZ to see if we can go bid over the PMZ, which is called the pre-market zone. And then if we can, I would be looking for this touch. Now let's go ahead and break it down into 2 hours. All right, you can see the 2 hours a little bit closer, and that's what's going to happen as we decrease time here. And it is just the bottom of this box. So you can look at it this way. What was support is now resistance. 9 EMA, same thing, depends on your time frame for today. Most traders that I know, right? Most traders that I know, they actually are using like literally anything from tick charts to 5-minute charts when it comes to future trading. All right, I do want to concentrate on the bigger picture here. Nice H formation. I went over this several times in the last several sessions with everybody here during this live feed, and I call this the hope pattern. It turns into a hope pattern as long as it continues to reject the 9. See that? Just like that. All right. So that's a 2 hour perspective. I would only be looking at getting about 85 to 86, 32.85, 32.86. Now, again, since we're on Thursday and the week is getting shorter, I want to break this down until something feels a little bit more comfortable. Okay, so we're going to go over here to the 1 hour, and this is what we look like on the 1 hour. Now, here lately, and to finish this H pattern, this would make more sense to me. So I would be watching the 1H into this 9. It could be a quick pop and then right back down. Depends on, again, what you're looking for. I would really like to see this. This does not mean that my bias is short. Please understand that. It's just part of my methodology. I would like to see this level hit and then a flush to really, scare the pants off of some people. And then I would like to see a total reversal coming back, shaking the bears out, getting above my edge and showing me that this is support. Once that starts to kick in, then I'm thinking 90 days out, I'm probably going to start buying some SPY calls. Okay, 90 days out. Now, I already have SPY calls into like 200 days out, but I'm going to buy some around 90 days if this can play out. Okay, so that's my plan. My expectation is not to make money first thing on that SPY 90 days out. That's where the difference is between me and most traders is everybody's looking for the quick buck or looking for a lotto and so forth. I'm looking at trying to make steady income over the next several months to the year. Okay? We do as well intraday trading and I do very well. So this is ES futures. That's my plan for today. Depending on your time frame, again, please sort through your candles and your time frame. All right. Now let's go ahead and go into the focus. Yeah, I agree with you, Jay. It's funny, isn't it? All right, let's go over into today's focus trades. All right, and let's go ahead and start. I kept it pretty small today because really, until I can see those things happen, I'm not really into, I'm not going to put a lot of different plans out there and really confuse everybody. So I'm going to pick some, some movers this morning and see what we can look at. Okay, so the first one's going to be PINS. And my first disclaimer on this, just from my own experience, is when things move this big, they tend to just kind of go sideways. The probabilities are there that you'll get a little bit of profit taken, and depending on what the market wants to do, it'll go sideways. If it's super strong, listen to me. If it's super strong, it's going to hold the 62.11 area, okay? Plus or minus 10 points or so. So just remember that. All right, so if it can hold this. Now, this morning, about an hour ago or so, I pushed this out, and I actually pushed it out on a 5-minute time frame because this is like my typical setup for trading pre-market. All right, and I didn't trade pre-market because I got some personal things that I'm taking care of here at the house. We had a little bit of, I wouldn't say a flood, but we did have flood warnings last night, and the water came up over my dock, and it's pretty messy out there, so I need to take care of some stuff. But you could see here it worked very well. So what I like to do pre-market on shares is actually take this trade as long as it's holding this area, okay? And these are starters. So starters are different to everyone. And then you could see price actually moved up very nicely here from 64.13. And I know when I put it out about right there. And price pushed into 65.54. So you're already up like $1.30 from the start. Now, I wouldn't look to add this until price can come over this and my void is under here. So you know your risk right away. Now, imagine this. This is just some straightforward stuff here. This is my risk, 64 by 62, right? Do the math. The difference between the two is my risk, all right? Now, if I've already made this, you might be happy for the day. You might want to bring your stop up. Depends on you. Again, the plan starters, add above here, and then I have Fibonacci extension. We use Fibonacci extensions when we do not have candle formations up and to the left. Okay. So pins, big move on earnings beat. Starters in the yellow, adds above blue dotted line, void under 62.10. Options premium will be out the roof. I personally prefer shares on this trade. Those are my notes. Let's go over here to DKNG. I'm going to give you a different perspective. We're going to go into the daily. Sorry about that. I put in pins. Give me one second. DKNG. All right. So here we are. This is my plan for today. Make it very simple. Earnings 1113. Keep that in mind, please. Steep move into the ME. That's my edge right here, folks. I can't make this stuff up. It's there before price. Okay, that's what makes us special. We have our own proprietary scripts. The only other people that have this are someone that came into this room. Okay, these work. And when they don't work, we have risk-defined trades around them. Okay, so prices come down, nice little down channel here, right into our edge, also right into this big move out. This big move out lets me know that there are traders in the market who are willing to buy at these levels. Notice price stopped here. My notes for today, make it simple. Steep move into the edge. The edge will serve as a line in the sand, 37.25. I like starters here, and after an inside and up on the 4 hour or day, I feel more convicted for the long or run up into earnings. Let's go over to the 4H. You can see here price is moving nicely from this morning already off of the ME, and you can also note that the 9 hour EMA, or sorry, the 4 hour 9 EMA prices now went a bid above bid. It means that buyer stepped in. That's all that the bid means. So I'll use that vocabulary bid it, right? People are bidding on it. And then when I say ask, I'm saying that the sellers are in control. Okay. Notice that the trend line is here. Okay. If you're into shapes, that's cool. I seriously don't really give 2 cents about shapes, but I put them on there because people can relate to it. All right. So if we break the trend line, note that we're still above the 9. Look for resistance to come in around 40.90. And above that, if we can hold, this, in my opinion, is where price can really move, especially into earnings. Okay. What would I be expecting into earnings? It's pretty simple. On a very big move, I'd expect price to possibly get between 47.50 to 49.90 into earnings and go sideways. Basically, that would look like this, about halfway of this move, and then go sideways into earnings. This would allow option traders to go, hey, I think it's going to be at the all-time high. This would take the bears and say, hey, I think we go back down to that level of support. This gives you a range or an iron condor. Okay, that's what I'm looking at on DKNG. Let's go to a higher beta name, SHOP. All right, so here we go. Even you can see the scripts work very well even during earnings. Always have been for the last several years. I love them. All right. Prices moved up on earnings on SHOP right into the trendy edge and resisted. Again, when price moves into the edge, look for resistance. When price gets over it, look for support. And then we're into some more resistance. Overall, this trade itself, I like it above the 9. I made it very easy to understand. I'd like to stay long above the 4H, the 9 EMA, or on a pull, I'd wait until price reclaims. Resistance is the yellow edge right here. And that is around 1078.60. Okay. All right. So that was really painless and quick. Is there anything that you guys would like to see? Please let me know. Hello? We good to go? Shot? Yes, I'm talking, buddy. You should be able to hear me. Hey, Sean, if you wanna go, just go over to Twitter, and you can rewind it really quick, man. That's a cool thing. Cool. All right, guys, let's leave it up to you. You guys got any names you want me to take a look at? Let's go ahead and knock that out. We got about 10 minutes or so. All right, let's do it. Square. All right, SQ coming all the way back down into overall the edge here. You can see that. So we're looking for support in this area. What I'd like to see is a rounding bottom. Notice this bigger green candle over here. A flush could put you in there. And note that this wick here came pretty close, but not quite. So this area is something to be looking at right in here. So if it wants to, if it breaks down below the ME, look for it to come into this yellow box. Okay. On a reclaim, this is what I love about the edges. Don't try to overthink things. Use the EMA, use the edge, and if price decides to drop further in here and you're thinking about getting long, I think for you, JD, you might have the scripts. Think about the actual levels, all right, or a reclaim. So a price decides to push up over this and it gets underneath that 9, then we look to take the trade to the upside. Okay, so that line in the sand for you is going to be around 166.45. They can hold that level and get over the 9. Look for price to push into resistance at or around 175.35. Okay, that's square. Let's go ahead and look at RCL, cruise lines, airlines, all these things, defensive stocks, Boeing. Everybody, these things are getting hammered, man, right? Getting hammered. And for some reason, people think it's going to zero. That just blows my mind. All right. It might take a while for these to regain strength. Everybody wants Boeing to go up, but it's shown you over the last several months that it's very difficult, right? So just keep that in mind. So don't try to be a hero. Just try to use some levels. We're going to go into a higher time frame here. Looking at the weekly, it looks a little sick, right? Yeah. This is a really nice area right into here. Notice, okay, these are weekly candles. I'm gonna zoom in here. Nice push out. Price has come into this level pretty close anyways. So look for this level to hold in here. If it doesn't, then it could come all the way down to 39.40. So for me, a neutral box would be around, 53 into right here at 51. I don't want to give a name like this too much cushion. I have some CCL that you guys are aware of. I haven't added into it yet. I actually trimmed it. And then I added a few shares after I trimmed, is what I did. So for this, it broke out of these trending lines again, came into a little bit of support. I'd only give it a couple bucks for risk. If it starts to turn around, then you're going to have resistance right around the 58.5 to 59.25 level. Okay, is what I see there on RCL. All right, let's look at ZM. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at ZM. I'm going to go to 1 year daily, and then I'm going to come over here to a 4 hour. There we go. Hey, look, it keeps coming down into the buyer section. This is our old blueprint, right? So over and over. And I've shown you how to make money off of this edge almost every single time. I can't make this up, folks. One of my calls yesterday, we were joking around, uh, one of our members in here, and try not to like overthink things like inside and up, inside and down, this and that. Try to keep it at, try to buy lower on the curve and look to get out or short higher on the curve. That's like the old saying, like buy low, sell high. Sounds easy, right? Well, it should be a little bit easier for you, right? If you try to take the emotions out of it. Now you got the edges or you have the blueprints, and you can see here this yellow line and this yellow line and pink line. This is what I call a double stack. Okay, I love these for support. So just think about it. When price moves up into those levels, look to get out. When price comes down to these levels, look to get in. And I think what happens is a lot of us traders is we take a trade and we immediately want to see that we're right? It's that feeling that you're doing something right, especially in a market like this where we continue to have a hard time. A lot of traders out there are having a hard time. You want to be exact, but you don't need to be exact. I understand that like options can kind of hurt if you're not exactly, on the money, but just look at it as a curve and say, hey, I'm going to go a little bit smaller delta on my options and I want to get in the trade down here. If you do that and you give yourself a little bit of room or cushion, you can look over here and notice that the weekly ATR is almost at 50 bucks, folks. That means this guy likes to move. That means if you're a new trader or you have a very weak stomach, this thing will pull back on you quickly and shake you, and then it will go in the direction you want it to go, and then you're just, you're angry, you're mad. You need to understand the personality of the stock you're about to trade. All right, enough for that rant. You get the point. It's down here. Look for support. It's still underneath the 9 EMA. If it could break above the 9 EMA, then again, just like the rest of the market, we're going to take some of these lines away from here. And I'm going to show you a little bit of resistance here to the upside, right around here. All right, and again, this is going to be, we can make this a little bit smaller. Okay, clean it up just a tad. And we're going to come right here, just like that. All right, just like that. So 515 to 507, I would really like to see price hold in here. Bulls, you need it above the 9, and then you probably see a nice quick spike into this 533 level. All right. All right, let's go ahead and go over Apple. I believe they have earnings this afternoon. I'm really surprised by the cost of options on Apple right now. Anybody else surprised? I mean, to me, I believe they have earnings tonight, don't they? 10:29 after market. I bought just for fun. I bought some calls yesterday. At a level. Let me see here. There it is, right there. I bought the 114s. And I paid $2 for these. $2, which tells me. Let me go to the Analyze tab real quick and put Apple in here. I'm just kind of curious what the MMs are pricing in here. They're saying $4, folks. Yeah, Sean, but these guys are saying $4. And here's the issue, right? Everybody's talking about good numbers and stuff. The issue is, and I mean, without getting too deep into it, is that there's a lot of money sidelined. There's not a lot of participants. People are more concerned about the election than they are with Apple earnings. You know what I'm saying? So they're taking advantage of that, and on good numbers, they pop it into these EMAs, and then they just bring it back down. And the overall trend, when we look at Apple, folks, is lower highs and lower lows. Okay, don't forget that. So just throw out the idea that you just bought a brand new watch or that you're getting the new phone. Nobody cares. Okay, price is what it's all about, and trend is what it's all about. All right. And until we see some kind of catalyst that's based around stimulus to help the people, and we see some sort of positive catalyst about immunizations, right? I think those things are very important for our economy and things like that. And you know me, I don't really talk about stuff like this, but those things are important. That's what the majority of people want to see. And at some point, price will take over. It'll grab these 9 EMAs. It'll make higher highs. And then you'll start hearing about good news afterwards. And you'll look back and you'll go, man, I should have bought the dip. That's just how the market works. So all we could do as traders is take the levels. We talked about this yesterday and try to make the best trade based on those levels. You can't expect to be right all the time. It's okay to be wrong. What's important is you just allocate properly. And when you are right and you get that really good feeling that, hey man, I think I stuck the bottom here, then you could start adding into your trades. All right. At least you get 1 foot in there. All right. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, and here's a good lesson, right? Did we go over everything? Yeah, I don't think anybody asked for anything else. All right, cool. So let's look at AMD really quick. So You guys are saying it tanked because of merger, right? And if we take it higher here and we go into a weekly time frame, well, a couple things, AMD's it's moving with the rest of the market, folks. Right? Am I right? That's the thing. That's why I always think it's funny is like, when people are trying to throw out a lot of trades, and we're not talking about our members, when people are trying to throw out a lot of trades and give, the reasoning behind something, typically in this market, you could see that we're just kind of following suit here. All right. The top and wicks were enough to tell you that there is bearish pressure in here regardless. So if you just throw out the idea of any catalyst, you know that this area is resistance. All right. Now, notice where price is, by the way. If you guys aren't paying attention to AMD, we're right at the edge. Okay. Also, from this big chaotic move up, let's just go ahead and take a look at that. Okay. For me, I'm not interested in AMD until it can gain and I get above 79.50. If anything, starters would be right here at the ME with a stop underneath 73.29. But I'm not going to touch it because I need to wait. I got enough positions on, I got enough to manage. So again, before we start here in 4 minutes, my whole idea for today is managing. I'm going to be watching somewhere between the 4 hour all the way down to the 5 minute candle of the ES on open this morning. All right, and what I'm looking for, let's go ahead and get over there, please, is on a 5 minute. So the bigger picture, what I'd like to see is it come down here. But I have to have a if this then that, right? So I got to go to a smaller time frame and go, okay, it might not happen today. John might not get price down into the edge. So what happens in most occurrences is that price will go bid over the PMZ. So we go into a 5 minute and it will never come back. Okay, please understand that. So this is the PMZ. It's already loaded for us. I go ahead up here, it tells me how much my risk is. Right now, I am trading the MES. It's a little volatile. Okay. So if we're talking ES versus MES, right, this is only like 25 bucks of risk. If you're talking about the ES, you're talking about $250 of risk. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and mark this up for you so you understand as soon as we open here what I'm looking at. Price needs to get over the PMZ. I prefer it come back and test, but it doesn't have to. A lot of times I'll just execute this immediately, especially on MES. Again, it's not a lot of risk. My stops go underneath the PMZ, and I'm looking for that push, possibly where? The 2 hour or the 4 hour 9 EMA. We already talked about that. And if you remember, that came into this level right here at 32.86. Now, for some reason, if it goes ask, meaning, sellers are in control, then I would not expect price to get over the PMZ. So do something like this. It'll take a bounce, reject, and then we'll get the edge. Okay. So I'm going to look at it on a 5 minute, but on my other screens, I'm checking it out a little bit higher time frame here again. All right. Good luck to everybody. I know that it's been difficult in general, to be a trader during these times. Please don't give up. Have perseverance. I wouldn't be here if I didn't know what it felt like, right? Talked about this many times. As a trader, I'm very transparent. There's nothing easy about trading except for when things are trending, right? When things are trending, you could throw a dart at something and you make money. Right now, things are not trending. The bigger picture, they look like they're trending down. We get some pops, we get some drops. We've made some great money on intraday trading, but my longer term stuff that I'm holding, I'm adding to. I'm adding as we drop here. All right. But please keep in mind when I'm adding, I understand my full allocation and I'm comfortable with that. And I will never put myself in a situation where I will blow my account up. If you're putting yourself in a situation where you're going to blow up your account, you really got to rethink things. Okay. Just don't do that. All right, so here we go. Remember what we said about the scenario here. Let's see, Apple's up just a tad. Not much though. All my share trades are up right now. Lithium's down a little bit. All right, so here we go. Out of the PMZ. And let's see if they can actually hold it above. It's very important. All right. Now I've already made money this morning on MES. And let's see. So I've already jumped into a little bit of MES here. Stops are pretty tight. Now I didn't wait for anything, so it could come back on me. Not concerned. Again, I'm just playing with profits here. And then what I want to do, I don't have to sit here and watch it because people get anxious. Could create alert, at or below. There we go, just like that. And let's get over here and look at some of our focus trades.